budget on Power Rangers every single season. So it's hard to say what is an expensive season, what is not, and what is expensive for Power Rangers. Because it always looks expensive with the kind of stuff that they do, stuff like RPM, where they have, the original suits, original designs, using very little Sentai footage. It looks, like this costs a lot of money, but then it always seems like they never have any money. So how the hell do they afford it?
Well,
It's gonna be down to $10 soon.
Nostalgia from
Samurai, well, the thing is, Samurai was actually a huge success. And that was the important thing for them. They got a lot of toy sales, they got a lot of viewership. RPM's numbers were crap. But then again, RPM's numbers were crap because Disney put it in a crap time slot. It was like at 4 in the morning. On weekdays, yeah. And what kid is going to be up at 4 in the morning watching it? Of course the numbers were garbage. It was actually kind of surprising that it got as good at numbers as it did, which was I think in double digits at best.
Yeah. I really wish I could have watched RPM, but...
This has become a Power Rangers Q. Sorry, go ahead.
Because I didn't get to finish Jungle Fury. I was almost done, but then Jetix shut down. What happened?
Oh yeah.
It's funny because RPM only got made because of Jetix.
But then it was on ABC Family, I found out. On Sunday mornings, I got church.
Thank God for DVRs.
Yeah.
And we didn't have
Amen, bro.
Nowadays, yes. But yeah, that's the fun history of Power Rangers right there. It's all about money.
All right, I've got a...
It's like NASA.
Oh yeah, you have a question.
Hold on. Sorry.
Talk amongst yourselves.
All right, okay, first one, it is Power Rangers related, but the second one is not. Okay, first one, all right, nobody hate me for this, but, pretty much what all the Mighty Morphine, all the early stuff was for you, the Disney era was for me. I know a lot of people say, oh, Mystic Force, oh, Operation Overdrive, that stuff. But, SPD and a little bit of Mystic Force, that was your Power Rangers to me. So it's for different generations, it's been going on. And also in the second part of that, for the Power Rangers thing, Shout Factory's starting to release the Sentai on DVD, so do you think you might consider looking at it?
Well, the thing is, I'm not going to do it by my own volition. What's happening, because I'm just not interested in it. What's happening is that Patreon sponsors have started to request it as episodes of Top Fourth Wall. And that's what happened earlier this year. They requested the Green Ranger arc from Jew Rangers, and they asked me to do that, and I did it, and it was funny. I love the script for it. I got to make a forklift joke, and we love the forklift song. Kill him with a forklift. I think that would happen more often.
And the second thing was that I noticed in one of your comic book reviews, you parodied Chris Boris.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Now breakfast is ruined.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just doing a new style of video, but I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Sorry. Just saying, I like Chris Boris, okay? So, just cut the guy some slack. He's a nice guy. He just came out with a book,
Yeah, a book that's really poorly edited, that is really terrible, that he's been giving false reviews of, that he was setting up bots to give himself 5-star reviews on. Oh yes, and then he said that Wario was burning in hell.
Oh.
So, I'm sorry, no, I have no respect for him whatsoever. If you like his stuff, feel free. I can't make you agree with me or anything on this, but I don't like the guy. I really do not.
Like the stuff, not the
Who's Chris Boris? The irate gamer.
Oh.
Yeah.
that guy.
Again, I'm sorry if by saying that you have lost a little respect for me, but I take stuff like the death of my friends very seriously, and what happened was someone asked him on Facebook about Wario's suicide, and his response was essentially, well, it's a pity that he will never know everlasting peace because he took his life before his own time. Basically, he said that he's not going to heaven. He's Jewish. He's not going to heaven because he committed suicide, and I find that a repugnant thing to say. And yeah, sorry.
All right, sorry for
No, not at you. Again, I'm not mad at you. You're fine. You are free to like and dislike anyone you want. And again, I'm sorry if you've lost respect for me for saying so, but I take that very seriously, which is why I have no respect for him.
Right.
But there you go. This got very serious.
Yeah. This took a dark turn real
A
quick.
very dark turn. I'm sorry about that.
Darkest panel.
Darkest panel.
Darkest panel. Darkest panel.
I don't know, yesterday Little Grebo sacrificed a guy.
We need to top that.
Let's talk about
I need 5 volunteers for sacrifice.
I volunteer.
We need the number count, God.
Also, we got some new people in. I'm assuming you came out of Little Grebo's panel.
Yeah.
Or some other places, or you were just lost.
No, we just came. We
Okay.
didn't realize you'd be here first for the Red Center.
Well, I had to get here first. If you actually saw me, I was near the front. We backed out about 10 minutes beforehand in order to get there.
I went to ambassador room. I thought I was all the way in Renaissance, so I was like, oh crap.
I know, and then there's like two centers called Ambassador. There's probably a line of Linkara fans over at the Red Center going, Linkara.
But like the last.
Schedule, though, it's specific.
I know, it says Kobo.
Kobo.
Yeah.
But people get confused sometimes about these things, which is why you shouldn't have things scheduled in 2 rooms with the same name.
In a room that nobody else knows exists, too.
This is the ghost room.
Yeah, this is done in 2, not 1.
Oh my god, has anyone seen Film
Down
Count
two
Productions?
empty
The guys
halls.
behind Llamas with Hats? They've been doing this other series of just like short 1-minute videos called The Ghost House. Day 13 in the Ghost House. The ghosts have sexy ghost butts. Oh shit. It's hilarious and wonderful and I love it. Okay, yeah, you madam.
Dan?
Yep.
Okay. I was just curious. You did an April Fool's abridged episode of one of the...
Mobile Suit Gundam Bridge, yep.
Yeah, thank you. Gundam Bridge. I wanted to know, was that the first time you worked with Little Grebo?
No, not the first time I had ever worked with them before. I've actually done a few minor character voices in a Bridge series before. As my greatest claim to fame is being the Elder Namekian who loved to show off his Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Yes.
I also wanted to ask, how did you meet them then?
I originally met them actually here.
Okay.
It was about 7 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe 6, I can't remember. Youmacon's pretty much my first panel, my first convention, so it's why I always love coming back for it. So it was great to finally, see that, to meet them for the first time. I basically marathon Dragon Ball Z Abridged, because at the time, Team 4-Star had partnered up with that guy with the glasses. So I was like, okay, I want to see, what kind of thing, what they did. I was like, this is funny, even though I've never watched Dragon Ball Z before. That kind of thing. So it was the first time meeting them. They were cool guys. I loved meeting them. Little Grebo had apparently seen my videos before, and I'd actually met him on a podcast beforehand, but we hadn't really, exchanged word before. Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged I had seen firsthand. I think it's thanks to my brother who had introduced me to them. And we watched Yu-Gi-Oh! As little kids, and we loved, poking fun at some of the same stuff that he did, or stuff that we hadn't noticed before. So, this was the first time meeting them here, and now we've, done a few little projects together like that, and done some voice work, and I'm really proud to be friends with ours.
Okay.
I'm leaving, so I've got one more question.
Okay, Red.
Okay. Yeah, sorry again for this thing.
Hey,
But any more planned in the foreseeable future? Any more projects with Doug Walker? Because I thought you were funny in Star Trek Insurrection.
I would love to do more. I keep hoping, I make occasional trips down to Chicago to see my girlfriend or to do a convention. Hi, Mika. And so I keep saying, hey, I'm available. You want me to do a cameo or something like that? Or do you want me to do a crossover? He's like, actually, no, I'm going to be out of town. So I'm actually going to be going down there again this weekend. I'm, praying we might have time to do a Steven Universe vlog together. Because I haven't watched Steven Universe. Fingers crossed. But otherwise, no, full reviews planned or anything like that. But I would love to. I'd love to do more. Oh, and one last thing about the Chris Moore subject, and that is, I would have a lot more respect for him actually if he did apologize and acknowledge this kind of thing. I'd feel a lot better.
I've talked to him on Facebook before. I'll see if possible because he seems like a legitimately nice guy. I think, but I'll ask him.
Okay, yeah.
All right, I'll see. He might apologize.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. See you later.
All right, thank you.
And now everyone else departs because that was all they wanted to see. No. Okay, let's have some more questions in here. You might have on that side.
question's probably already been answered. I was not able to be here yesterday. How'd your movie premiere go?
It went very well. And went very well. And on the subject, because some people came in beforehand, if you're going to ask questions about the movie, try to keep them spoiler-free, because some people in here sadly could not make it to the premiere yesterday. But yeah, that was the thing. There's the ending fight scene. I haven't had time to put in sound effects for like laser sounds, so like the audience started just going. Pew, pew, pew. That was awesome. I got it on film. Hopefully put it in the DVD. It may not be usable, especially because it was still a smaller crowd. Sure, it was a larger crowd than this, but it didn't fill up the space, and I was zoomed in like all the way to that side. So we'll see if it actually goes that way. I may just keep it, maybe put it online after the movie's premiere. But we'll see. But yeah, it went over very well. I'm happy people like it, and I hope they like the finished version, because if they don't, I'm screwed.
Oh, I'll bite it. I better like it. I paid for it before it came out.
All right, Creature.
Two quick questions. One, I know with your Patreon you've since added where if you reach a new certain amount, you'll do more of the Saban-like series. And all that. Will that include Kamen Rider, Dragon?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I do Master Rider and Kamen Rider Dragon Knight because those are technically American tokusatsu shows.
Right.
Technically.
Right. And the other question is, was there ever a joke you had ever done that totally either people all read too much into, like the stuff was Mars Girl back when she did that quote from Cinnamon and everything else. Was there ever jokes like that you always like, okay, didn't expect people to read into that?
The stupid frickin' Schrodinger's cat joke, but way back in like Silent Hill dying inside. It was just, you know, I occasionally like will write stuff into the script. It was like, you know, thought puzzles in the shower, that kind of thing. You know, shower thoughts, where you're just like, this doesn't really make any sense. So I included it in there, and then the entire damn comment section interrupted you. That's not how Schrodinger's cat works. I don't care.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
It was just something that was meant to be funny. Why do you care so much?
Big Man Theory.
Yeah.
Stop torturing me.
And actually, I was actually going for the guy in the green hoodie there.
Do you plan on reviewing the new Frank Miller sequel?
Of course I do. As if it was ever a question that I was going to. I like it planned as a joke in the last Aspar review. Okay, we're finally done with Frank Miller's Batman works, and we can move on to something else like Dark Knight Strikes 3.
Who's buying this stuff?
You know, mostly it's people who didn't realize that he's still been doing comic work and been doing crappy comic work since then, or people who buy it because they think it'll be hilarious.
And people who don't watch your show.
Or people who don't watch my show, which is sadly far too many.
I was writing it, so who knows how it's going to turn out. Yeah.
Alright, back over to the side. Use her right.
Two things. One, favorite gem.
Favorite what?
Favorite gem.
Gem. Amethyst.
Woo.
February. Sorry, February birthstone.
And two, so Marvel just finished Secret Wars.
Did they actually finish it? Did it actually all out? Because they like delayed it for like a few months.
No, it's not all out, but they started all the new series.
Yeah. I mentioned this in a recent review how like the aftermath is coming out before the thing is finished.
Yeah. Anyway, are you going to be reading anything from the new Moon?
Probably not too much from it. I'll probably be. I know that the first Avengers comic, which with Kamala Khan in it, came out. I keep meaning to buy that. Deadpool. I'm always going to buy Deadpool. I was kind of thinking about buying the Creature Commandos one. Was it Creature Commandos? Oh, the Howling Commandos. That's it. And yeah, just regular Miss Marvel. I'm very limited in the things I like. That's the thing. I will keep up with what's going on in comics, but I'm probably not going to buy most of it, especially since my store doesn't mind if we read the comics in the shop.
Lucky.
Oh yeah, some comic shops actually bag and board them when they put them on, so you can't do that.
So you have to blindly buy it.
Alright, back over to the side. User.
Okay, I got two questions. The last time I was here, I haven't been able to make it the last few years. You were reviewing that horror manga. I forgot what it was.
Uzumaki.
Yeah, Uzumaki, where the person was stuck in the wheel well. I was actually after that entire thing. I stayed and talked to you for like an hour. I'm not sure if you remember that or not. But
Vaguely, it was a few years ago.
yeah, but anyways, one of the questions they asked there, I want to know if the answer has changed, is if you had a superpower, what superpower would you have?
Oh, still be telekinesis.
It would still be telekinesis so you could fly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also because telekinesis is just like one of the most versatile powers out there. You can do so much with it.
Like reading.
Deus Ex Machina power.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if you have enough power, like enough precise power, you could basically split an atom just by snapping your fingers.
Like a Jean Grey.
It would be awesome. But
Hence why telekinesis is such a wonderful power. But flight is the main perk of it but it's just all the other stuff you get with it. You can either get just flight or flight plus move objects with your mind.
Yeah.
Never have to walk across the room for the remote again.
that is basically what Dragon Ball Z is all about, by the way.
I know more about it now, but back like 7 years ago, I just knew it was that show featuring that guy in the orange jumpsuit. And his hair is really weird.
And that's all you need to know.
In fact, they all look kind of the same because they all have the same wacky hair except for the bald ones.
Well, that's
There's a tiny
actually
bald
true.
one and a big bald one.
Because Akira Toriyama can only draw like 6 faces. He cannot draw very many. He doesn't have a high variety of faces. Look at all his old work.
Welcome to the Dragon Ball Z panel.
Yeah. And anyways, the second question was, are you gonna do more stuff with Team 4-Star Gaming? Like, I know you guys did like Cards Against Humanity.
I would love to do more with them. I would certainly be up for doing more games with them. I'm not the biggest gamer in the world, which is probably what keeps me from doing that. Besides, most of the TFS gaming stuff they do tends to be in-house since a bunch of them live close together with each other.
Yeah, they all go in one place.
But I would be perfectly up for doing it again, like the Cards Against Humanity thing.
More furry decks.
Bless you.
Hey, my man, across you. I disagree on Akira Toriyama's artwork, but you know, I love his monster designs. I love his monster
Oh yeah.
designs.
They are
I'll
beautiful.
take him over.
Hey, Clock King, how you doing?
I'll take him over Rob any day. Any day.
That's still so awesome. I love that. Thank you.
You could kill a man with
Oh,
that.
by the way, I'll take Akira
That's
Toriyama.
kind of the point.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'll take Akira Toriyama over Rob Liefeld any day. At least he can draw legs. At least he can draw faces and arms. At least he can actually draw anatomies.
Yeah. Looking forward to Super
The only person I would not choose before Rob Liefeld would probably be Frank Miller.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Another question, who would you rather have?
I'm sorry, I was watching this fascinating conversation going on back and forth.
Enjoying himself.
Okay,
keep going.
did we just do this side or this side?
I
We
was
did this
okay,
side.
man.
Richard.
Thoughts on what you've seen of Spider-Verse?
Very little of it. I just know lots of characters die really pointlessly. I know that my brother read it and really enjoyed it. So I know that he counters Superior or Spider-Man again, and he just is unable to comprehend Peter ever taking back his body. So yeah, that's pretty much all I know of it at this point. Also, that the poor hostess Spider-Man got killed. It's not how this is supposed to work. We give you the hostess prize and you stop.
At least the weekly one survived.
But Spider-Man!
And of course, Japanese Spider-Man made an appearance. Mark's probably been trying to get me to review Japanese Spider-Man for a while now.
Good show.
I don't doubt it. It's an investment of a 50-episode TV series that I'll have to watch with subtitles. And when I watch stuff, I usually am doing it while I'm editing. So I have to have the show on this screen, editing on this screen, and then it's I can just glance over at it. But if it's subtitled, I can't really do that because then I have to be paying attention and reading it. Which is why I've been watching any anime that I watch is dubbed.
That's fine with me.
I finally went through all of Mobile Suit Gundam a few years ago, hence the inspiration for Mobile Suit Gundam Bridged. The thing with that was, basically that episode, which I dubbed The Old People Escape, basically I just came up with so much ripping fodder for just that episode alone. Because it's so asinine. These people are trying to flee from their colony, in which they just escaped because the Xenon blew it up, essentially. They like took out the, I can't remember if they like completely destroyed it or just took out the air. But either way, the place is not livable anymore. You're escaping on this warship, you know, this prototype warship, because you're fleeing for your lives. And now we're fleeing from enemy territory. We're stuck in enemy territory, trying to make our way back to friendly territory. Let us off! In the middle of a desert, where we have no idea where the hell we're going. Why? It's like, what do you want? They like kidnap some kids to try to force the ship to land, then just release them right away, and then come to the bridge to stage a sit-in while in the middle of a battle. It's like, what is happening?
Who let these people in here?
Yeah, like no security on board White Base, but to be fair, most of these people are untrained. They just got kind of conscripted. A lot of them are like 12-year-olds. Because, you know, Gundam.
And Japan.
And Japan. Actually, I could speak for hours about Mobile Suit Gundam Bridge, just how much stuff there. Another inspiration for that was the shower scene. Because just like, Garma walks in, just very, like showers in the shower, and just talk to each other like an old married couple. Like, are you in there, Char? Yes, I'm in here, Garma. Yes, well, I hear the new Federation's Trojan horse is going to be moving in. I'm just going to read this playbill while I talk to you naked and rinsing yourself off in the shower. It's like so casual. And of course, it's made all the better when you realize the backstory and like Char is actually trying to murder Garma's entire family for like some really weird revenge scheme that I can't remember if they actually went into the whole details of it or not. It's been like a year or two since I watched it. I got to like in the middle of Zeta Gundam and then I had to stop because I was watching other stuff. Anyway, welcome to the Gundam panel.
This is the nerd panel. What are you talking about?
Panel. It's like
Every panel is the nerd panel.
Anyway, did I answer the question? I can't remember.
What was the question?
It was a Spider-Man question. Anyway, over to that side here.
Subs to Gundam.
So you just mentioned like riffing. Are you gonna do like more Linkara riffs?
Yes. In fact, I know that I have at least one more riff in the queue from a Patreon sponsor who wanted me to riff on a short about bananas, if I recall correctly. So I will, so I think it's like What About Bananas is what it's called or something like that. And so I'll definitely be doing that once I finish up the movie, which this month. Promise. I've told the other people who I'm still waiting stuff on for hard deadline, November 15th, or I'm not paying you.
Ooh.
I kid, of course. Half of them have already delivered work, so I'm paying them anyway. So yeah, I want to get back to riffs. I'm pretty sure there's another Patreon sponsor or two that I have to contact that I haven't gotten a riff for from them because even a year later, I'm still getting used to the Patreon stuff and like trying new things out. For example, I tried to do ads at the end of videos every month. And I couldn't keep track of who had done what and which month we were on. So I said, okay, screw that, I can't do it anymore. Every 6 months you can get a new ad on there. Same thing for new reviews. It started out with 4 review slots, and then they just kept filling up and emptying out, filling up again. And I want to actually get around to reviewing stuff of my own volition. Yes. Instead of just stuff that other people want me to review, so I limited the slots to 2, and that's been working out pretty well. Although there's such a high demand for it, everyone's just like, I never get a slot open, even though it tells, because I get an email saying that a slot is open and it's immediately been filled. Well, them's the breaks. And I feel bad about it because I love to review whatever it is you want me to review, but I want to talk about Ultimate Power. So, yeah. Anyway, user pressure.
I noticed ever since that Fantastic Four movie came out, suddenly there's not much Fantastic Four stuff going on in Marvel.
Yeah, that was
Really? I haven't noticed.
And
Assuming that the original Fantastic Four can't be the Fantastic Four anymore, and you could create your own Fantastic Four team of those Marvel characters, who would you make it of?
Oh, well, I always said, well, if it can't speak.
No original members.
None of the original members. Okay, that was my question. Oh, okay. You know what? I bring back the weird quartet again. I would bring back, if I recall correctly, it was Spider-Man, Ghost Rider. What? I think was the Hulk in there too?
Yeah, I think so.
And the fourth one, I can't remember. Wolverine. This was this weird thing for, it was like a what-if comic, if I recall correctly. I can't remember what they had based it off of, but it was this weird thing where they partnered those 4 together, and they were the Fantastic Four for a brief time.
What
Yeah.
kind of thing?
I've never read it before, but it's such a bizarre concept of like, I want to see where they didn't go with this. Especially in modern times where the writing is much stronger and a lot more realistic, especially in terms of dialogue and characterization and whatnot. So, yeah, that's what I would want to see
It
as
was
the new
a,
Fantastic Four.
It was actually a kind of gimmick issue of the Fantastic Four where they were just going, well, Fantastic Four is not really something, so let's get all our headliners at the time, which was, Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine, and the
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
And they were just like, okay, Fantastic Four were supposedly killed by Mole Man, but were actually abducted by the Skrulls.
Of course, as you do.
Makes total sense.
And so they got to be the new Fantastic Four.
For 2 issues until they figure out what was going on, and then in the second issue, Punisher guest starred for like one panel.
Flyby.
Punisher is everywhere.
Of course. I love comic books.
Is it X-Men 3 Wolverine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Please. It's not used, is it? Okay, there you go. Again, it's like it's moved from my throat into my nose, so that's always fun.
I should have brought a pause.
Here's a lovely sound of me blowing my nose.
Oh, that sounded disappointing.
Next question. Yes, sir.
2 questions. Do you think you're going to do the last issue of Aspar this year?
Not this year, 2016. In fact, I think it's either the first episode of 2016 or one episode in January. Because there's only one issue left. And even though they kept saying, oh, we'll definitely go back to it. Yeah, right.
Do you find an issue of it?
I don't have a copy of it yet, but I can order it like 2 weeks beforehand. The only question is, will I get the infamous copy that the censorship didn't go through? Because of course, for some bizarre reason, Miller wrote up this really, offensive script with lots of swear words and stuff that you can't really put in a ages 14 and up comic. So of course, Miller knew they were going to censor it, of course, so they put black bars over everything. Something went wrong with the printing. So even though they're like, the bars are there, you could see through them. And so a bunch of comics were printed pretty much uncensored until they had to recall them and then send out a new thing. Which you'd think they would have quality checked that to begin with, but what you gonna do? Yeah, DC. So, I'm hoping to get one of those, because either way, it's going to be a fun time with that. The final issue of Aspar, all our questions will finally be answered. Yeah, no, they won't. It's like another filler issue that focuses on Batgirl or something.
Make sure you get a bottle of vodka.
Aspar.
Get a bottle of vodka for that one.
And Dark Knight 3, that'll be fun. That's a story from the movie that most people know by now, that the news of Dark Knight 3 coming out came out while we were filming the movie. So of course Nash comes in with his phone. Hey Lewis, come here. He's like, I'm like, okay, what is it? Dark Knight 3 and I'm...
Just you think you was out.
He's like, I need to punch something. Nash picks up the box, holds it up.
You got your I'm a man.
I did not pull out the Iron Man, but I did punch a hole through that box.
And to quote Godfather Part
I'm pretty sure the box with the hole in it did not end up in the movie. I think we just turned it around.
You just start playing the Jaws theme.
Oh, he says I ranted about it for 10 minutes. I think it was more like 5 minutes and the hole punching.
And to take a quote from Godfather Part 3, just you think you was out, it pulled you back in.
You're going back.
In fact, I think I quoted that. It was like 6 or 7 months ago, so I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I think I did that. Thought it was out. Pull me back in. Like I said earlier, I want to move on to other Frank Miller comics, because there's more out there. I want to cover his very first professional comic work, which is not writing, but drawing an issue of the Twilight Zone comic for Gold Key. Yeah, I want to get back to RoboCop versus the Terminator. I want to get back back to, I also want to get back to Superman versus the Terminator for that matter. A lot of versus comics that I could explore again. I just kind of start things and never stop them. It's kind of a habit of mine.
And not enough against Freddy Krueger.
What was that?
And not enough of them against Freddy Krueger.
And not enough of them against Freddy Krueger. I love the versus gag. I don't know why I love that so much. Freddy versus Aspar.
Well, they're both nightmares.
Alright, we just did this side, right?
Yeah.
Alright, you and Freddy.
So first, two quick ones. First, favorite Sonic game?
Probably Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is the one with Casino Night Zone, right? Yeah, that's my favorite.
Second, are you familiar with the work of one Tony Goldmark, some jerk with a camera?
Might be on the same site.
Let's see, do I recall something? No, I recall a bad Doc Brown impression that someone's grandmother appeared with. She was overweight. No, that doesn't ring a bell. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Tony's work. It's hilarious and awesome. You should all be watching it. The thing is, if you don't know, Some Jerk with a Camera reviews amusement park rides. And you would think, how the hell do you make a video about that? Interesting. And the way he does it is lots of padding. But the padding is hilarious. And he's and the reason his videos take a little bit of time to come out because he edits them to the max. It's like there's a cut every 3 seconds. He's giving history about the ride and the people involved in it. He's expanded out to reviewing like TV shows. Like he did an entire series about all the TGIF shows going to Disneyland and reviewing them. And it's hilarious. And he's like point out, like, okay, we need to go this way to Splash Mountain. No, you don't. You go that way because he films them in the parks. No, you don't. Splash Mountain is that way. Okay, well, we have to go this way or else miss the parade. If you go that way, you will hit the parade! But yeah, it's hilarious. And I'm sorry, what was your question?
I guess what I wanted to ask was, are there, I don't know how you cross over, like, your material and his material?
Well, there is the Universal Studio. Is it Six Flags or Universal Studios that has the Marvel characters? Universal. So theoretically, we could do that, but of course, it would involve a lot of working together. Although, come to think of it, there was a comic request a few years ago for this promotional comic for Universal Studios. Comics where like Dr. Doom had taken over the park or something, and like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, someone had to stop it. And I was going to review it, and then I read through, it was like, this is not so bad. And so it's one of those cases where like I swapped it out with like Candy Computer Whiz Kids or something because like I needed something else to do. Because the thing is, if I don't feel like it's bad enough, or if there isn't enough material to do something with it, I will want to, change it out. The only exception to those is Patreon sponsored reviews because they paid for it. I gotta review it, even if the episode's not that great. But so far, people have been pretty good about what they've been requesting. I think the weirdest one has been Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
I'm a vampire.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, I was still okay with that because I got so much damn material out of it. So yeah, I would love to do a crossover with him. We met a few times before. He was actually in Minnesota doing a concert for I think one of the Mars Cons, like not that Mars Con, the other Mars Con. And yeah, we just went up to cons together, Cons Mongolian barbecue, and we had dinner and we just talked and stuff. But yeah, we're friends.
Cool.
So
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, you've probably answered questions like this, but I haven't heard your answers. So, especially with the new trailer coming out, do you have any thoughts on Star Wars 7, Force Awakens? Yes. I know you're a Star Wars person, but...
Oh my God, that looks so good.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Now, of course, people keep misinterpreting the Star Wars 3D review. What I said was I'm not as much into Star Wars as I am into Star Trek. It doesn't mean that I hated Star Wars or that I wasn't into it. I knew plenty of stuff about it, and I love the movies, and I hate the prequels because, of course, I do.
Hey.
I know some people like them, and that's okay. But yeah, I'm very vocal about how I don't like the prequel.
Hey, man, George Lucas made Red Tails a movie for African Americans. At least you should respect that.
Red Tails was actually really bad.
Well, I don't care. I don't care. He's a master storyteller. He can actually do his movies all he wants. I don't care. And I don't care if people want to hate on him. I don't even. All I want is respect for the man.
I will respect him for
stuff is.
I still don't think he's a very good writer, though.
A lot of stuff is blamed on him that it does not actually come down to him. Like a lot of the edits of the original three. A lot of the edits of the original three were not his idea at all, and people always blame it on George Lucas because he's got the name right there. He's the one that people.
Sorry, I turned this into a Star Wars.
I'll tell you this, if Force Awakens end up rewriting the prequels, it's going to be one more day, 2K15.
Well, here's the thing. Even if Force Awakens is awful, that's okay, because then we'll have new jokes. Because let's face it, we've run jokes about the prequels into the ground. It's time, we need new material out there, and unfortunately, stuff like Rebels and the Clone Wars, they didn't really have that same kind of zeitgeist with the popular audience, so people weren't, making jokes about it left and right. But the movies is where all the action is. So even if Force Awakens is god awful, and like every character, like if BB-8 is the next, but Jar Jar Binks, even if that was the case, we'd still have new jokes.
I like Jar Jar.
Great.
I like Jar Jar.
I like Jar Jar.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
He caused the formation of the Empire.
But yeah, I'm actually.
He was a pawn.
Man, he was a pawn. He was being played by Sidious. Thank you, man.
We love Jar Jar.
I've seen worse characters than Jar Jar.
Jar Jar but a pawn in Game of Life.
This is fascinating. Anyway, I'm actually really looking forward to Force Awakens. In fact, on repeat, every time I watch one of the Force Awakens teasers and trailers, it actually motivates me to work on the Atop the Fourth Wall movie. Because just like this looks so epic, and I love seeing the practical sets. I love the acting and the music. Oh my God, the music for those trailers. I don't know what it is that just hits the right moment. Like it's like They talked about this before, like they did a trailer breakdown of the latest trailer. Really, the latest trailer is just another teaser, because we still don't know what the damn plot is.
Which I didn't even like the marketing, by the way. It was all practical, a middle finger to a saga fans. Not to mention, it was just straight up pandering to the OT crowd, the double OT.
See, I would argue against you, except that I'm pretty much doing the exact same thing up here. But yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to that.
I know, man. You're passionate.
Probably move on from this topic. You, sir.
Hi, Linkara. I was wondering if you would dare to watch this movie with your particular date, in which people consider the greatest horror movie of 2015.
Oh, God.
Gem and the Holograms.
No, I won't, because I don't like to watch boring movies. Because I've already seen that movie. I've seen it a million times before, or a million different Disney Channel movies. We've seen in fact, we saw the entire damn plot of the movie in the trailer. And again, there's no,
no jokes.
No, what's the, Sweetie, you're the Gem fan. What's the thing they use?
Things wrong with Gem. 1, no misfits. 2, Synergy is not actually a hologram.
Synergy, that's it.
Female, it's actually some sort of robot that they collect pieces to because Pokemon. 3, Erica Raymond, which is actually not that bad, but still, 4, no dead parents. 5, she does. The fashion's not as cute as the 80s comic. 6, the comic was better, go read the comic. 7, holy shit, why haven't you messed this up? 8, Justin Bieber. There's a problem with it because Justin Bieber's whole legacy inspired this movie. I don't know what number I'm on.
I love you.
Synergy.
Citizens Live, ladies and gentlemen.
So, I'm
Read the comic.
Glove.
The comic was
2 questions. One, do you ever go back to your old videos and go, man, I should have, I just thought of a really good joke that would have worked on?
Not so much jokes as much as, man, this is poorly edited. If you ask any of the producers this, we all have the same answer. We don't like watching our old stuff because all we see are the mistakes. We see, we see, oh man, we could have tightened this up. Man, my performance is not as good. Man, half of my face is in shadow.
I was a Superman
And-
Zen.
What?
And I'm not.
I was a Superman Zen.
Yeah, some of them hold up better than others, but in my mind, all I can see are the things that I did wrong in those videos. Because 7 years later, I'm a better editor, I'm a better performer, and I'm a better writer. And even then, back then I was making jokes that I don't make today. Not really, bad jokes in particular, but just like, that could have been much funnier. And stuff like that. No specific ones. The only one that I've ever said that I would go back and redo is Bimbos in Time, because that was a good script, but I was sick when I filmed it, and I think it comes through in the performance.
And the other question I was going to ask is there any comic you want to review or have gotten Patreon requests to review, but you just cannot find?
Not yet. Usually, any kind of request like that, part of the requirement is I need to be able to have a copy of it, in some degree. Even if I can't get a physical copy, I need to be able to get a scan of it or something like that. Sometimes that's easier than others. Some of them I can actually get, through less than legal ways. But then again, if there's not any legal way of obtaining it, then what the hell am I supposed to do? But stuff like Jew Rangers worked out really well because Shout Factory had just released the DVD set of the entire thing. So I was like, hey, I can get these legally and, and just rip them and put them out there. And yeah, really the biggest problem with that was finding a way to keep subtitles integrated into it, which I figured out fairly quickly. Okay. Over here, you met him.
Have you seen Sword Art Online abridged yet?
Nope.
You should watch it. It's
okay.
It's only like 7 episodes, so it's really easy to bust through.
Alright, I'll try to watch that sometime. You sir again.
Alright.
Front here.
First, real quick, they rebooted Jem and they didn't have dead parents in a reboot? What?
Yeah, she has a mom.
No, it's just every time you do a reboot of something, you're supposed to kill parents.
There's not
Whether
even
it happens in the
number 11, there's no orphanage. Number 12, there's barely any conflict. Number 13, fashion!
Sweetie, there's plenty of conflict. She's getting subsumed by media culture, which I think is what Jem is really all about.
Number 15 has
I'm gonna put it like this.
Sometimes you gotta modernize it, sweetie. You gotta embrace what's hip to the generation now.
Number 17, shut up!
Number 18. Hey, let me back you up on that. Let me back you up.
Anyway.
Number 18.
Back to the panel.
It's a rip-off.
This panel has degenerated. What has become of us?
Degenerated.
My other question is more of a meta thing. Would you ever be up for doing like an 18+ panel?
I actually have done one before.
Last year.
Was it Youmacon or Midwest Media?
Might as well go with Martian Man.
I'm pretty sure it was Midwest Media. It was in the Ren Center. Basically, people asked me lots of inappropriate questions that are none of your business. And I showed a bit from my second DVD, which features me riffing on an old 1950s anti-pornography short film. Ooh. This pornography is filthy. Look at it! Look at it!
That was before Playboy, right?
No, there was lots of magazines like that around. Usually they would get around it through artistic, erotic, or basically just lots of terminology that basically said, this isn't appealing to prurient interest, it's appealing to artistic interests.
Yeah, but it was released before Playboy, right?
Yeah.
I do not know when Playboy started, so I would not know, but yeah, basically nudie magazines like that.
Okay.
It's like...
Although apparently Playboy has officially announced that they will stop having nude content in their magazines. Mostly because
I could finally read the stories.
You can turn on Google Safe Search and find anything you want ever. And people actually legitimately read Playboy for the articles anyway.
Yeah. I mean...
That used to be a joke. Anyway,
I was just wondering, who do you think are the top 5 worst mentors in Power Rangers and why?
I hate ranking these kind of things. Okay. Absolute worst mentor. I'm going to say Mentor G on this one, because he's freshest in my mind, and because, I showed several examples, he's just really not that smart. Gosei is up there somewhere. He's better than some others because even though he just gives stuff away for no reason whatsoever, he at least is trying to help them, and is actually, being beneficial in some capacity. In Space had the absolute worst mentor. It's like he wasn't even there. That was a joke. Lost Galaxy also had a terrible mentor and nothing. Lightspeed Rescue, I like what's his face? Was it Colonel? Was it Colonel? I can't remember his name. Captain Mitchell. Yeah, Captain Mitchell, he wasn't bad, but he also wasn't all that great. I mean, the Lightspeed Aquabase is falling apart around him. He just kind of stands there and looks around.
Well, fuck.
I know it's supposed to be that like he's traumatized by this, but it's just like he's not even giving like a sad face or anything. He's just like,
Dull surprise.
Dull surprise. No, actually, it was dull surprise going. But yeah, Princess Shayla's up there. It's hard to even call her a mentor, but she never teaches them anything.
What about that one who replaced Zordon?
The thing is, she got better once the original members left and she stopped talking to them in questions. She like said normal dialogue, and she was just fine. So yeah, I think that's 5. A lack of mentor counts as a mentor. I declare it so. It is done. You have about 10 minutes left. So, Clock King.
Yes. Something I've been wondering about. Given your fondness for over-the-top action and creatures and the Jack Kirby-esque scale of that sort of Silver Age stuff, I'm surprised you've never had any Hellboy in Long Box of the Damned.
It's just one of those things that I keep saying, oh, this year I'll get to Hellboy, and then I just never get around to it. We finally had one Hellboy story in the Dark Horse Book of Hauntings this year, which, by the way, it's November 1st. You can marathon all the long boxes now. They're all on YouTube, too, so that probably helps. They're all unlisted videos, which is the one problem with that. But when I get home, I'm going to be making a video for YouTube saying, okay, guys, here's how this works. Do you guys want me to catch up faster, like release 3 old episodes per week and release all the unlisted long boxes now, so we can have new stuff next year or not? So that kind of thing. So yeah, maybe next year I want to do Hellboy. It's just I never get around to it. Black shirt with the things on it. Yeah.
The androids.
Yeah, I don't have my glasses on, sorry.
I'm gonna torture you a little bit and ask you 5 top guys that you like who work in comic books and 5 lowest guys that work in comic books.
Frank Miller.
Writers?
I hate doing...
Or
artists or doing top 15 lists. It's going to be such a pain in the ass to try to get these things to actually, you don't need the rank on them out. And just to pick 15 things, and even then picking 15 is sometimes too much. I shot myself in the foot with that, branding with that. But just in terms of top 5, as always, it's the usual suspects. Frank Miller, Rob Liefeld, Greg Land. Brodsky. Although I don't think Brodsky's doing comics work anymore. I think he's pretty much just doing How to Seduce Women books. Step 1, write a horrible comic where the women are vapid and want superpowers to impress boys. Scott Jensen actually, unfortunately, passed away recently.
Ooh.
So I can't say him, but even then, I've heard it's like he did some good work.
Never speak ill of the dead.
Yeah, don't speak ill of the dead unless they're like Hitler or something.
Yeah.
You can speak all of the ill. But yeah, it's hard to say. Actually, I'm really sad Scott Jensen is dead because honestly, if there was any one comic creator I would love to actually talk to, it would be to him. Because I'm honestly curious, what the hell was the deal with these Silent Hill comics? Why did you choose to do this? Why did you choose to do that? That kind of thing.
You talked about that 4 years ago. I remember you for 20 minutes just saying what the hell was he thinking?
Yeah, I really want to know. But top 5 working comics right now. James Robinson, Gail Simone. Who's doing Squirrel Girl?
Ooh. Oh god.
Ryan North, that's another one. Oh, Squirrel Girl, that's another Marvel one I'm picking up. This is the problem with anytime asking me what's in my pull box, because I always forget stuff.
You gotta write it down, dude.
I know. I go by week to week. It's like, oh, hey, this is coming out this week. Next question. Yeah, sorry, man. It's hard for me to think on the spot about stuff like that.
We got 10 minutes, so.
But you get the idea. I don't have any questions this side. So, white shirt in the back. Yeah.
Don't remind me.
In reference to Squirrel Girl, actually I wanted to say that I'm really excited. There's a recent panel where they specifically call out that she is not a mutant. So there's a good chance that she may show up in the Marvel movies in the future. And secondly, have you ever heard of a terrible film called Fateful Findings?
Fateful what?
Fateful Findings.
I have not. What's that about?
It's billed as a supernatural hacking thriller. It's just crazy. You had mentioned that you like bad movies when they're not boring. I could say it is definitively not boring, and maybe if you ever want to do a stream, or even just watch it while drunk and never tell anyone about it. It's fantastic. Fantastically bad. Written, directed, and starring the same guy, Neil Breen.
I will look it up sometime. Otherwise, actually, one movie I'd like to promote, I'm pretty sure this is what it's called, Blood Punch. Which, I might be getting this name wrong, but here's the thing about it that's so interesting that you would be like, why would he recommend a movie that sounds like a Rob Liefeld creation? It's actually created by Ziggy, Dr. K, and Flynn from RPM. Wow. It's an independent sci-fi thriller that they created and got independently funded and are now trying to promote it and produce and get it out there. I haven't watched it yet myself, but what was that?
Sorry, I just find it funny you're promoting something you haven't watched yet.
Well, I want to promote these. I would want to promote these actors anyway. And I've seen the trailer and it looks interesting. And other people, I trust other people's opinions, and they've said it actually was really good. So, so take a look at the trailer sometime if you're interested in checking it out.
What is it?
Blood Punch, I think. You might want to look it up just to make sure.
Sounds fruit flavored.
Yeah. All right. You have a question, sir?
Over the years, DC's released a lot of anime movies I really like. Oh, it's not really like. I was wondering to know if you liked any of those, what your favorites were.
Any particular animated movie that I'm fond of?
Like the DC ones.
Oh, the DC ones. Not many. My brother Graham loves watching those and keeps trying to get me to watch them. I'm just not as interested in them, mostly because it's just like taking a storyline that was already in the comics or a really weird adaptation of something in the comics and then putting it into animated form. Just like, I could just read the comic. There's really no point to adapting this kind of a thing when I already have it in the way it was originally intended to be. Now, if I had to pick one of those that I really liked, the Under the Red Hood one wasn't bad, in my opinion. I think it could have been a lot better. Mind you, it helps that they completely stripped away the stuff that was added in later, which was Superboy Prime punching a wall, which made Jason Todd come back to life. What? To be fair, it makes sense in the context of the story. Sort of. Punching the walls of reality. And it changes things.
Very specific.
That is how the universe works.
Very specific change there. Huh?
Actually, it's not a very specific change. Here's what happened. It basically said ripple effects through the DC universe, creating continuity errors.
Oh.
So like Donna Troy's origin changes all the time. Or a character's name changes, or people who were dead come back to life. It just so happens that Jason Todd was supposed to live. That kind of thing.
So it's basically the DC equivalent of It's All Decade's fault.
Or a reset button.
Well, basically, it was their effort in Infinite Crisis to try to explain away all the inconsistencies that happened post-Crisis Infinite Earths. I give them credit for trying, but it's also still really stupid. But yeah, that's
what we call
Prime punching a wall. There you go. The animated movies. I'm just not as into them is the thing. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Zenith.
What is your favorite character and story arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX?
It's always hard to pick this one because I've thought about this before. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I actually think it's better than the original series. Because it developed, because the characters had solid development. They weren't always just on the sideline saying, "Go Yugi!"
Tristan.
Or Tristan going, "Go me!" That's what I love about the original Duel Monsters arc, fight against Pegasus. Tristan actually got to do something. And then it was all undone because we never learned how the damn Millennium Ring gets back to him. But anyway, yeah, I love GX, so it's hard to pick out what my favorite stuff of it was. I love just season 3 overall because they start going into some dark places with that, and very dark character actions. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge likes to make fun of Dark Jaden. He's like, I'm intimidating, guys, come on! But honestly, he was like brainwashed and dead inside and didn't care, and he had the spooky eyes. We love the spooky eyes. And of course, it had, season 3 also had some of my favorite lines of everything. For example, we have, I can't remember his name. He's the guy with the dreadlocks and the gun duel disc.
Axel.
Was it?
Axel Brody.
Axel. Like, they're having this duel against some duel zombies, and the zombie, duel zombie, it makes sense in context. The guy's like, I have these traps set up so that I will finally defeat you. And he's like, wait, Axel's walking away from the wait, where are you going? Hey, why are you walking away? Because I won already, see? And he had already activated a trap while he was just having his inner monologue and just won. He didn't care.
Bye, dude.
There's this other guy. I can't remember his name, but he was like he was the guy who was also super rich.
Chaz?
Not Chaz, it was the guy who fought against Chaz, who Chaz hated because I'm super rich, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is if you're good at card games.
The silver-haired kid, right?
Yeah, I think so. He had his own female assistant, I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
It was this great thing where Yubel, the big villain of the entire arc, was like, I will absorb the darkness in your heart, because the guy keeps doing morally questionable things. So he sacrifices people to save his own skin and that kind of a thing. And it's like, oh my God, clearly he's evil. But no, Yubel tries to absorb the darkness in your heart. It's like, there's no darkness in your heart. What's going on? That's because everything I've done was for the betterment of things. I'm a good guy. I believe in the moral sanctitude of everything I've done. Well, crap. Complex character stuff, it's awesome, I love it. But the thing is, while I love season 3 all that better because of the development that happened over it, I tend to lean towards season 2 more, just because I love the idea of people who think that they are good, becoming villains. I love that kind of road to hell thing, where the society of light, where they believe that by stripping away personal identity and freedom and individuality and all that, they think that they are making the world better. They honestly think they are the good guys. Of course they're not, but there you go.
I found the rich guy's name. It's Adrian Gecko.
Okay, here's the thing about, I like GX, but there are some things I find really stupid about it. Mostly stuff that's carried over from the original series. Dual spirits are stupid. They're freaking monsters on trading cards. We don't need another dimension where they're all real. What does that even mean when we have duplicates of the same damn card? They're like, are there 2 Dark Magician girls in this other world? Are multiple people summoning the same person each time? Never explained. Is it like Pokemon?
Yeah.
Gotta catch all the Dark Magicians. Those are the things I don't like about it. I mean, even the end of season 3, as much as I love season 3, has this bizarre thing in the end where they try to turn Jaden into Yugi by having him be the reincarnated spirit of some prince, which they completely ignore in season 4 because it was stupid. It's like, okay, there's this really great backstory where he's actually a prince who Yubel sacrificed himself originally for. Oh wait, no he wasn't, because that is dumb. But there you go, I love GX.
I found the guy's name.
Yeah, they did dub season 4. We've actually gone over time. Me rambling.
Hey, wait, one thing.
So we will get one question out of this.
I found the guy's name. It's Adrian Gecko.
Adrian Gecko, that's it. We will take one last question and then we gotta clear out of here because I'm sure some other panel wants to get in here on this. Maybe.
I don't think there's anyone here, dude.
Okay, so here's what we'll take one more question and then who wants to buy stuff? Okay, we'll do that until the next panel comes in, if there is another next panel. Is there a staffer out there?
Yes.
Yeah, he's right there.
Is there a panel after this?
I don't think so.
There's a bird in here.
Finally, someone noticed. Finally.
Mr. Tweetums.
I have a question.
There's a bird.
I have a question from the...
You should.
from the movie last night, but I wanted to ask, okay, so Linkara the character goes through this, you know, character arc, and I was wondering, how closely is that related to your personal life? Did you have that arc in your real life, or was it
Not
something
entirely.
you
There have been occasional times where I considered, you know, stopping the show and not doing anything like that, or considering, yeah, I see the bird now. Bird!
He's going to go teach a dinosaur how to evolve.
So yeah, it's not so much reflective of my own life in that regard. Basically, I was thinking, what is this kind of thing? All this stuff that happens to Linkara, how would that actually affect him long term? And you know, sometimes he's okay with it, sometimes he's not okay with it. So I wanted to actually have some development and, you know, explore that some more. And why does he actually do this? Because it's a long-running reviewer trope of, ugh, I hate reviewing this. Well, then why are you doing it? It's that kind of a thing. So in this case, I wanted to answer that question, and you know, I hopefully answered it adequately enough for people's satisfaction. But otherwise, I'm more than happy to keep doing this until the day I die. Like I said, I got a gigantic ego, and you people are clapping for me. So yep, let's since nothing else is going on here, I'll set up and we'll see if we can like sell you DVDs and crap. For the few of you who want it anyway.